the Curse of Oak Island and Beyond live stream. How you doing tonight, Tom?
I'm doing fantastic. I am still trying to catch up with Jan's notes and my notes and more paper and what came on last week and what's coming on next week.
Oh my
I have
gosh, I
no idea.
know. I tell you what,
I'm lost.
yeah.
I'm lost. Yeah.
Well, 3 hours of Oak Island, right? And I mean, last night, and
Information overload.
it was fabulous.
It really was. It was really
I was
good.
loving it. I was
Mhm.
loving it. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
It
We've
was
been
so
waiting
busy
for
last night that I didn't even get a chance to open my ketchup chips.
ketchup chips. There you go.
Ketchup chips.
Yes, yes. As a matter of fact, Keith, thank you so very much for that. It is our anniversary today. I don't know what is that. Is it 3 years? Is that what it is? 3 years of doing the Curse of Oak Island and Beyond live stream. We started this today. Yeah, 3 years ago. And I tell you what, man, time has flown by. It really has.
Somebody had asked me, I would have said 2 years.
Yeah. Yeah. Somebody asked, I said, well, we're starting on our 4th year. And I thought, well, that's, but it's been so much fun. It really has. And folks, I want to tell you, we have a special guest, somebody who, I mean, we started this thing off, Linda and I, and then and then Tom came along and Jan came along. But before they came along, we had a gentleman that jumped over and helped us out. He jumped on here. He started calling in and helping me out with a call in. Then we put him on here for a while, and he's been through a lot in the last year and a half. But he's here today, and I wanted to bring up and let you talk for a minute with Mr. Jack Campbell. Jack, how are you, sir?
I'm doing fine. Thank you for having me, Jeff and Tom.
Oh my gosh! Well, you helped kick all this off, Jack, and you and I we carried the load for quite a while. And like I said, I know you've had some issues, but man, it's good to see you out there again.
Yeah,
It's really
I
good to
can
see you
remember
back.
our first podcast, and we did a show, and we wondered, did anybody even listen? We were wondering that. But
Yeah.
what you and the four of you have done is just fantastic.
Well, you know
Yeah.
what? I tell you what, you really helped because I know at the beginning of all this, there was some other like a bunch of people jumping in and saying hi. Yep, there's Darlene and Lorraine and Karen and Linda and the Borchers,
There you go.
Texas
See,
Farm. Oh my gosh,
the board is lighting up.
the board is lighting up with good to see you, Jax.
So you get Jack back, and I've always said, Jack, you can come back and take the co-host chair anytime you want it. So I'm just gonna eat my
Or the three of us could do it even. Why not?
You guys just go ahead. I'll be right here.
Jack, did you get a chance? Did you watch the show last night?
I did.
What'd you think?
Like the 3 hours is a lot of information,
It was a lot of information.
but I came away with a couple impressions. I think Lot 5 is going to be one of the biggest keys we've ever had
Yep.
going forward.
Yep.
Which
Absolutely.
I added archaeologists. I mean, you find 4 coins on the first night.
Yeah.
And Sandy Campbell says, I got to look at this one because I don't know what it is.
Yep.
And the other thing that impressed me was the dive that they did. To me, that is interesting because if they connect the wharf to the land to get to the swamp, you've really got something there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. Absolutely.
You get a
Yeah,
direct
it's really
line- you
it's
get a
really
direct line from the sea into the swamp.
exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. And there's this is I've been waiting. We all all of us, and there's a new term that we're using now instead of acorns. Well, we're all still acorns, but oakaholics. Somebody in our so I forget who came up with that. Cat, maybe it was Cat that came up with that. I don't know. Somebody came up with or was it Jeff? I think it was Jeff actually came up with oakaholics, and I kind of like that, an oakaholic. But I tell you what, for all of us oakaholics out here, we waited a long time, and we were kind of wondering, how's this season going to be? Was it going to die off after season 10? But I'll tell you what, it really hasn't. And this right out of the shot here, right off the bang with the premiere, very, very good show, I thought.
The other thing that impressed me also is with the new building they got. When they brought those coins in, they could get so much information right away.
Yeah.
Exactly. No more waiting.
No more waiting 2 to 3 months to find out. And then when they brought Sandy in, he could take it the next step further. We didn't have to wait for information.
Exactly. Yeah.
I didn't realize he'd been at this for what they say, 40 years. He's been doing this or something.
A new
Yeah, I mean, and it amazes me. He looks at a coin and he goes, "Oh, I know what this is." I'm like, I mean, he doesn't need a microscope or anything else.
No.
I mean,
Yeah.
he just, they got the information from Emma, who was a big part of the show this last time.
Yep.
And I think the other archaeologists are gonna wear out a couple trolls each before they get done. I got a feeling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that was one of the great things about the show last night is we got an opportunity to see the new ladies that are on the show. And I've got here's one picture I do want to show here real quick. This was the shot of everybody that was on the screen. If I can get it to pop up there. There we go. The ones that were on the screen last night, not the ones in the war room. But we got Emma, of course, returned to the show. You got to have her because she's the archaeometallurgist.
Mm-hmm.
Did I say that right? I think
Close
so.
enough.
Yeah, close
Just
enough.
don't say it 3 times fast.
Yeah, I don't think I can. But then you also have the ladies that are sitting there, and I'm hunting. Oh, Jamie and Moya are sitting there.
Yeah.
Jamie's in the middle, and Moya is over here on the left side. And so that's Moya. So, and then we saw a different lady when they got over to lot 5. We saw another one, and that was oh boy, I forgot her name, Fiona. We got Fiona.
Great. Fiona. Yep.
So wow, Laird is just bringing in the team, is he not?
That's why I think it's lot 5. I want to say lot 25 now. I may be wrong on that. With the area they had of interest. I'm not sure.
The well and the wall.
Lot 26.
That's 26.
26. Excuse me.
Yep. Yeah, lot 26. Yep. Yeah.
The other person I'm interested to see they brought on full time too is Danny Henniger.
Yeah, Danny Henniger.
Because I mean, he can tell you stories. Henry and I spent an afternoon, and Alexander and I spent an afternoon with him.
Yep.
And if you want somebody to show you around that island and show you who was where and who was digging what and who was doing what, that's the guy that could show you. Yeah,
this gentleman sitting right here next to Helen is Danny Henniger. And folks, I tell you what, when I was, and I'll share this little story real quick with you all. You've heard it before, that many of you that have been on the show or watched the show. When I was up at Oak Island back in June, I was up at up in Nova Scotia, and Carmen Legg got a hold of me, called me up, and he says, "Hey, do you want to go meet Mr. Oak Island?" And I was like, well, yeah, first of all, yes. And who's Mr. Oak Island? And he said, "I ain't telling you." Well, we ended up meeting him, and then there I am following the blue Corvette. Christine and I were following the blue Corvette, Oxman on the license plate, of course. And we follow him, and he takes us to Danny Henniger's house. And we went right over there to his house, and we're sitting on the one couch. Danny had hurt his leg, and he was kind of laid up a little bit. So he was sitting on his recliner with his leg up. And so here we are, we're sitting there, and there's Carmen Legg right across the coffee table, and here's Danny Henniger. What an evening that was. Oh my gosh. And Danny I just opened him up and asked him, and he just started sharing with us. And man, what a fantastic.
And he's also not just an expert on Oak Island. He's an expert on the history of the area. Mm-hmm. So for example, someone like Samuel Ball, he could tell you Samuel Ball's whole life history.
Yep.
And not just specifically all Sam owned, these 9 lots or whatever.
Yeah.
He knows what Samuel Ball was doing in the area.
Yep.
Yeah, excellent.
The other thing I liked seeing Dan Hensky, the last of the old guard, on TV last night.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I'm sure the stories he could tell also.
Well, and he's got I guess he's got like a photographic memory or something like that. People have talked about that. And that's awesome. Oh, Kate, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you. But that is awesome that he does. And he remembers these things that are, he's shown them where there's other shafts. He's shown them where there's the coconut fiber was found on Smith's Cove. I mean, he knows where all this is. And the things that he's created that Danny Henniger has in his museum. In the museum. He has that little mock-up that he made.
The 10X mock-up,
Yeah.
But I had a
podcast. I found interesting last night.
What's that?
They were doing their core drilling.
Yeah.
And then they went back to the one spot that they found wood and just moved 5 feet and hit wood again. So I think that was a big deal for him to find that again,
Yep.
to try to trace it.
Absolutely. That's a money shot right there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it sure was.
Hmm.
But I had a podcast with Danny, and if anybody of you would like to listen to him for about an hour, the volume wasn't the best on his microphone. We were having a little trouble with his mic that I had to borrow to get working. But anyway, if you want to check that out, it's in the podcast. Look under podcast, and it's down there. Just or type in once you get to the podcast, just type in Danny Henniger, and it'll take you right to that particular show. And you can listen to him. And he, we had about an hour of just wonderful information about Oak Island things. That man knows so much. It's just incredible. And it's really, really good to see him, showing up back with the team again. Cause he used to give tours.
Yep.
Back in the day, he gave tours, and Scott Clark knew him back then.
Mhm.
And he was, when Scott Clark first went before the Laginas, Scott Clark was there, and he got the tour from Danny Henniger, was given the tour. So, I mean, yeah, it doesn't get much better than all of that.
Mhm.
So,
Absolutely.
yeah. So, but yeah, overall, I think
But I think this is going to be a very good season.
I do too, Tom or Jack. I really do.
If last night is any measure of what we're going to see this year, yep, definitely.
Well, let's talk real quick while we got Danny Henniger. We're talking about him. Let's talk about Lot 5 real quick. And I know that we won't keep you too long here, Jack, but let's talk about Lot 5 just for a moment. Now, last year we found that circular structure on Lot 5, right? They found that.
Right.
They were really interested. Laird and they all got in there and they started measuring it and digging in there. And as far as we knew at the end, it was a circular stone structure.
Yep.
Well, now it turns out that it's not that. But we did not know, and Danny Henniger knew. He actually had photographs that they talked about last night of the structure on Lot 5. And it's back when it was, look at it, it's full of water. In that picture right there, it's full of water.
Yep.
And these are pictures from Lot 5 from that Danny Henniger had from Robert Young. And then as you see the big large pile of boulders right there.
Yeah, and look at the chair he's got behind there. He spent some time back
there. Back in the background back there. Yeah. He liked to sit there and look out at the water, I guess, and who wouldn't, right? But he was actually the guy who put the stones around in that circular pattern around that feature. And then,
so let me ask you this, then let's play devil's advocate.
Okay.
Did he take the stones that somebody had left there, deposited there, those big piles with the sods on them, right, and place them there, or were they there and he removed them trying to see what was underneath and then he put them back?
I don't know, but you see, there's that big pile right there.
I got the impression that somebody had taken that big pile of stones over there, because there was nothing on Lot 5 that was that amount of stone or anything.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if he had a tractor, which why wouldn't, I don't know if he did or not.
Robert Young, I don't think he had any machinery on the island, because Robert Young could only get to the island by boat, right?
Yeah, oh, that's very true. Yep, that's right.
Yeah.
I doubt that he had any machinery other than maybe a wheelbarrow.
Yeah. So hauling those rocks would not have been an easy task for him to get those.
I mean, it's a beautiful pattern that he laid down eventually.
Oh yeah.
Looked like a Portuguese road. Looked like a Portuguese road.
Yeah.
Yes, it did.
Yeah. This is the final, I guess, when he got done. And of course, over time, it filled up and covered with dirt and everything. And then we saw it when they found it last season. We saw
I think it was Alex and Laird found it where they were working on it.
Yeah. Yep.
They didn't date those photos, did they? So we don't know how long ago.
No.
Because I mean, he could have put that like that and then thrown the dirt back over it. I mean, I don't know how long it would take to fill in, but
yeah, I don't know either.
A lot of wheelbarrows.
A lot of water.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah.
So, but
now is this? I'm trying to remember. Was this the one that was 13 feet across also?
Yes. Yep.
Because that's what struck me about last year. Because Alex got that look in his face when Laird said 13 feet. It was like a bell rang in his head right away.
Yeah. Yep. same as the money pit. And so, as we go through tonight, we're going to talk about this thing some more, this particular structure, because, well, we can do that now, actually. I mean, this thing became very, very interesting as the show went on. I can say that. It, we thought it was this round structure. Yeah, the number
I would have bet
13
money it was a pit house.
Yeah, I did too.
It had all the makings. I mean, on
Yeah.
the surface, it built like a pit house.
Right. And I did too. And then we come to find out that once they start really digging into this thing, and then they brought out the other the people that the other archaeologists to give them a hand with this thing, they come to find out that it's not a round structure at all. And it looks like that Robert Young may have put the rocks around it to help preserve what was there. I mean, that was not only was that a great idea, but he must have known that there was more to it than
he also knew the money pit was supposed to be 13 feet, right?
Right.
Was he making a decoy or his own little model version of it, or?
I don't know.
Too much speculation on even for us on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they are going toward that wall that Laird wanted to go toward.
Mm-hmm.
They were trying to go toward that wall to see what it was or how far it went.
Right,
'Cause it could be something completely that we have no idea
No.
what it is.
Yeah. So there's the picture lot 5. It gives you an orientation. There's Jamie, and there's Fiona, and of course Jack doing his thing over there with the sifter, doing some work. And they found a piece of pottery. Now this was a piece of pottery that Fiona found in there.
Yep.
I know we're let's see. Now this particular piece, Fiona locates a piece of red earthware, which was made from fired clay.
Fired clay, yep.
Yeah.
During the 17th and 18th centuries.
So possibly back as far as the 1600s is what Laird was saying. Yep.
Yeah.
This was something that Laird was really amazed that they found in that hole.
When it comes to pottery, as Marty said, if Laird hasn't seen it, it's unusual. It's out of place.
It's very unusual.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
and it's utilitarian pottery, which means basically it's used for everyday use.
Yep.
And usually to transport those food, rice, whatever. It's just it's used for storage, right? Which you would expect to find in a pit house or any underground facility that's being used to store food.
Right.
Or prepare food, even if it was used to, it could have been a cookhouse, right? Or a cook shed or whatever. Yeah.
The other thing is how many different nationalities were on lot 5 by the coins that they're finding.
Well, and that's good. That's going to bring up a good question when we get to that portion here. That's going to bring up a very good point, because was it different nationalities that have been there, or was it one group of people that had coins from a bunch of different nationalities? I think I don't know. Or was all these coins owned by someone else, and he lost 5 of them all they weren't in a pile.
Well, no, but I thought about that last night. I thought, okay, so they're finding these things 30 feet apart from each other, or in some cases, maybe not 30 feet.
Right.
So if 400 or 500 years ago, I was going along and I had my little pouch full of coins or whatever, and I dropped it and it's lost and it's gone. Over the next 200 or 300 years, how many times was that turned into a field and plowed?
Yeah, true.
And things kicked around and things moved, and just the general distribution, because they were all very shallow, right? Nothing more than probably 6 inches deep, and that's with the forest growing on top of it.
Yeah.
So were those things just moved by sort of the natural movement of man, and they were in one spot at one time?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's we'll talk about those a little bit. That was the little video that I had made. I put together the little video of them guys finding those. That was put out at midnight the other night, and it was during the marathon. At the end of the marathon, they had that little 8-minute deal. But again, it leaves you with that thought. How did these different coins show up there like that?
Right.
It's just it's it's still kind of I don't know if they'll ever get an answer to that, or will they? I don't know.
No,
I got
and
my ideas.
and Rick referred to that structure out there, and what's going on in Lot 5 is a complete mystery.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah, he did. Yep.
So if they can eventually draw, and it sounds like they are going to be able to draw some sort of a connection to the money pit, that'll be really interesting. But even if they don't, what type of history are they literally uncovering there?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, guys, I'm going to let you get on with the show because you got a lot to cover tonight.
Okay, well, Jack,
Right.
we keep you in our prayers, and we hope you're feeling. You look like you look great, to be honest. I hope you're feeling.
I feel really good. I thank you for all the prayers and thoughts that you've given me. It means a lot. And hopefully we'll get back out here again and talk some more.
All right, sounds good.
Anytime,
Okay,
Jack.
thank you.
Great evening. All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
There he is, one of the founding fathers.
Yep. Yeah, exactly right. Yes, he's one of the founding fathers of this podcast.
And he is very knowledgeable about Oak Island and all the goings on in Oak Island.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, he really was, and I was very happy to have Jack, like he said back when we first started this thing, and we were wondering if anybody was even going to come and watch, and I don't know, we had like 20 people watching or whatever.
20 or 25. Oh, I remember when you got to 50 people, it was a big deal.
Oh, it was great, and I loved it. Oh man, so getting back to today being our anniversary, we had to bring Jack back for that. So.
Yep, definitely.
So, but here we go. Here's another piece of earthenware or pottery that was found on Lot 5, and this one here. Let's see. He said it's one of those pieces that this one here. I don't think it dated back. Tell him about earthenware that was found that does not recognize, and then explains it could be from the 1600s. Was that the first? Yeah. Again, more pottery.
I think the pottery they found. I think they found pieces of the same type of pottery.
Yeah. Yep. This one was a little.
Yeah.
Yep. So so interesting. And then Gary was there. Of course, Rick and Marty had to come out. They came out to check things out, and they had Gary with them. And Gary went down and he did some metal detecting, and he said, "Yep, everything's iron down there."
He found that one big hit, and it didn't take Laird long to jump in that hole, did it? I thought, why isn't somebody jumping in that hole? And then all of a sudden you see Laird going in, right?
Yeah, he jumped right in there to get that. And sure enough, he dug that thing out of there to see what it was. And this was it. This is him holding this encrusted piece of whatever it is in his hands right there. And I this is one of those things where I wanted to kind of talk about, now that we're here. Let's go ahead and talk about this. They got over and they did a CT scan on this thing. And here it is right here. There we go. Here's the scan that they did on this.
Yep.
Okay. And then I guess at one point, he was talking about it being a pin or
it's like a pin hinge. Yeah. You drive the stake into a piece of wood and you use that ring as a hinge.
Yep. Now here's
I thought it was just being like a mooring or an eye that you would drive into a piece of wood to hang something off of.
Right. Yeah. There you go. A raft pin whatever. Yeah. Like a raft pin. Here's what I thought when I first saw this thing, and here goes my farmer brain kicking in right here. When I saw this thing, and here's one more picture of it, looking at the scans that she did. And you can see that this ring, it looks like it's attached. I'm going to back up one. You can see it looks like it's attached at this point.
Yep.
And then laying on top of the pin on this point.
Yep.
And the first thing that came to mind when I saw that was a draw hitch pin for a tractor. And I'll show you that real quick here. And I got a picture of one that I went and found on the internet. Here it is right here. Now, this is one of those things that you put, and I call it a drawbar on the back of a tractor. And on each end of it, it's got like pins on each end that go, and you put this, it's like a universal joint with a hole in the middle. You put it over that pin. And then this device here there's a hole in the end of that pin. It goes through there. And then that the ring locks over the end of it to keep it can't come off until you pull that pin back or the circle back up, and then you can pull the pin off. That's what I thought it was. A version of that. But why would it be so sharp on the end like it was? And it does look like it's been driven into something.
We did drive it into wood or a tree or
Mhm.
the deck of a boat or a raft or whatever, and then they would tie off to it.
Then you can tie off something to it. Exactly. Yeah.
But they think it was probably used as a hinge for a hatch or something like that. That's what they were leaning towards.
Now that's what Kat said last night in Discord. We were hanging out in Discord last night doing a kind of a watch party. And so during that, Kat had mentioned that she said that would that not be like something you can drive into a hatch door, and that pin then would give you the ability to, or not the pin, but the circle part. You could grab that circle part and open the door. And I thought, oh my gosh.
Treasure chest pin. Yeah, you never know.
And what is this? What is on Zena's map? What's in the general location of the Lot 5 circle? You know, this thing, the hole under the hatch.
Yep. I think keep in mind too, a lot of those type things, those rings and those pins, whether it's an eye bolt, they were multifunctional items, right? Like you wouldn't just see it made for one specific purpose.
Correct.
It could be used in a multitude of roles.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
But why is it in the bottom of a dirt hole in Lot 5?
Yeah. Thank you, Linda. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Linda, for right. It's not a. I mean, we're all watching. When I say watch party, we're all watching it on our own televisions or streaming devices, and we're just talking during the commercials. So, and that was one of the rules I had on there. So when we're in Discord, and there's a link down below for our Discord channel, if you want to check it out, you have to install Discord on a tablet or a device of some sort. It's all free. It doesn't cost anything. And then use the link. It'll take you out there. We were hanging out there. And so I got a rule that says you can talk during the commercials, but not during the show. So that.
And trust me, folks, I go on there and I just drop in and listen because I can't keep up with them. They're just.
But the ideas that go back and forth in that room are just crazy. I mean, there's a lot of good information.
A lot of good ideas going back and forth. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Some, but for the most part,
some a little on the edge, of course. Yeah. So yeah. Driving. Oh, there you go. Jan Anderson driving into a raft that is being pulled up. Yeah. From a ship to the island with cargo.
Yeah,
there you go.
You also see the same type of pins used sometimes too if you're going to haul logs down a river for making log rafts, log booms.
Yep. Yeah. Right. Yep. So yeah, that was really interesting. So I'm glad Lot 5. And they talk about if you watch the drilling down that took place, and I'm going to show these pictures real quick before we leave Lot 5. On the drilling down show that was on just before the season premiere last night, they did show Lot 5. Maddie Blake was out there, and that once circular structure that we were all excited about is no longer a circular structure. Now it is, I don't know. Well, honestly, I don't know what it is. But you can see where they've gone around the edge here, and they're taking off the rocks that are around the edge that made the circle. And now it's become something else. They don't have. I don't know if they know exactly what this thing is.
They're baffled. They don't. Well, to this point in what we've seen this year, they have no idea.
Yeah.
Now they probably will as the season rolls along, but to where they've shown us right now, no.
Yeah. This is crazy. I mean, and there was some, and I don't know how many of I think they're taking most of the bigger rocks, they're taking them out and they're piling them up over here on the side. But I have one more picture, and let me get to that one real quick here. It's a better overhead shot. Here it is right here. This one here is a really good shot, looking straight down onto this thing.
It's a structure within a structure. There's walls inside walls.
Yeah. And look how deep it goes. I mean, this section right here goes down quite a ways. And I don't know. I mean, and what did Jamie, I think Jamie was the one that was talking about, she said, this is not like any type of a foundation that we would expect to see from the 1700s.
Or underground.
Or that deep underground. So, I mean, And and we go back to Zena's map, Zena Halpern's map.
Yeah,
It was
and right now they're dating it as something that would have been there before the lots were even assigned to
yes,
Oak Island, before anybody even owned land on Oak Island.
yes, yeah,
So they're going to be pre 1740,
right, exactly,
right, which would be 55 years before the money pit was discovered.
right, exactly, yeah, and that's and like you said, they never knew of any kind of habitation or house or anything like that
No.
ever built on Lot 5. So that's just and going back to Xena and her map, that just we're getting, people have said that Xena's map is not true. Cremona documents and all that stuff, it's all fake. No, it's made up. Somebody just made it up or whatever. And her map is not true. But instead of finding things to disprove the map, they keep finding things to validate the map.
Yeah, every time they talk, every time they bring up more history, they keep pulling Zena's map back into it.
I mean, I was always on the fence with the map, but I'm telling you, it's getting more and more like it could be. It could be. And again, I go back to that whole thing that it looked like it was a quickly drawn map that somebody did while looking at another map, and they copied it. That's what it looked like to me.
Or they were drawing it quickly from memory.
Right. Yep. Exactly. So, and
Yep.
I don't
Because
know.
you can't dispute the fact that they always say which came first, the chicken or the egg, right? We didn't know these things were here. Somebody knew they were there if they drew them on Zena's map.
Yep. Here's another thing, when we're talking about Zena's map, and I know I'm kind of jumping around, but that's okay. That's what we're here for. And I want to get your thoughts too. If you guys, what do you guys think of Zena's map? Jack said the map that won't go away. Yeah.
It's not going away anytime soon. I can tell you that.
No, yeah, definitely not. I want to get your thoughts on. I believe in the map. Ryan says he believes in the map. I'm starting to get more and more to where I do believe in this map. I really do. And here's why: because every time we turn around, there's another thing being found. And here's another one. Now, I'm gonna bring this up real quick. And you guys know the Stone Road. Now, when in the drilling down, when Maddie was there, we saw he was standing over there talking to the guys over in the swamp, right? And what did he do? He was talking about the Stone Road that they had worked on and found a couple of years ago. What Aaron Taylor was there, Dr. Taylor was there. Karen says, I've always believed in Xena and the map. Renee says, I believe in the map. Kat says, I believe it's real. Yeah. See, you can't disregard it. That's what Coma says. The anchor in the swamp. Yes, Ryan. That's exactly where I was headed.
That could be what you're looking at right there.
Yeah. So and they did some more digging into the Stone Road here. You can see the large hole that they extended this hole. Aaron Taylor in them had dug it first to see how the different layers. And remember, Dr. Taylor said that it looked like it had been rebuilt, like it sank a little bit, and they built it back up in the middle a little bit. So it had kind of a contour to it, and they built it up a little bit, and how it may go off into the ocean. But yeah, this little feature right here, you see that rock sticking up, and that's something that Maddie pointed out, and he was looking at it, and they said something about it having he said it kind of looks like one of the Nolan's
Cross rocks. Yep.
Yeah. The Nolan Cross.
Got that sort of cone look to it. Yep.
Yeah. Well, okay. So
keep in mind too, people, that when they say, it's an anchor, it's an anchor. The map refers to an anchor. The anchor doesn't necessarily mean something that you would normally associate with being an anchor that you'd see hanging out the side of a ship.
Right.
An anchor can mean an anchor point.
Right. And here's what I wanted to, you've seen where it was. Okay. And I'll take you back there real quick. It's very close. This thing is sitting very close to the Stone Road down there, very near the southeast corner of the swamp. Okay, right there it is. Now, here I'm going to bring up Zena's map for you real quick. And because when I first glanced, I looked at Zena's map and I'm like, okay, there's nothing there. I don't see it. But then I looked again, and then lo and behold, I did see it. And right here. Right
And-
here is the anchor.
And it's the anchors plural.
Anchors, plural, right. So right here. And that's the anchors. There's another one over here.
Mhm.
You know, that's just what would that be? East of Nolan's house. Up
Yep.
there on the hillside, down that hill somewhere. And then there's the one right there. What do you think? Is that one of the anchors? They were looking for one of the anchors. I remember when they were up in the uplands, just from the hill into the trees from the southeast corner of the swamp, and they were looking for one that they thought might be it. But I think that stone in the swamp is it.
Could be, you know, I mean, the map is not going to be to scale, so you know there's going to be an anchor there somewhere. So
Yep. Like the hole under the hatch right here.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm again. Hey, Deidre, how you doing?
Yeah, when they originally started talking about Zenith's maps, the skeptics would say, "Oh, this map was drawn to match existing known information." Right? They drew the map to make it fit. Well, the stuff they're finding now, they wouldn't have known at the time that this map was presented to the team.
Right. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because they had never uncovered that. Nobody ever talked about that big rock being there.
No,
Nobody ever really talked about the dam being there.
nobody'd been on lot 5.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, to know about the hatch, nobody was allowed to be there.
Mm.
Uh,
And the one guy that knew it was there put a bunch of rocks around it. So
maybe he was trying to make
and
it look
made
like,
it look like a Portuguese road,
yeah, yeah,
Portuguese
Or-
roundabout. Maybe it's a Portuguese roundabout.
a roundabout, a Portuguese roundabout. Yeah, exactly. That's a Portuguese roundabout.
Mm.
So yeah, Carolyn, I thought about that. I did. But the problem I have with that, it's too far away. I'm going to say it's too far away because it's way down by the southeast corner of the swamp, which, everything, all the stones and everything that are supposed to be part of Peter Amundsen's tree of life are still up by the eye. I don't know that they come down much farther south from the eye of the swamp. And this one's quite a ways away from that. This is clear on the other side of the swamp. So I don't know, but I did think about that at first, and that's when I got looking at the maps and everything, and then I found that anchor, and I thought, was it moved? I don't know. We'll find out as the season goes along, and they actually find it during the show. We'll know whether or not they moved it. My thinking is that Billy Gerhardt was in there digging with the long reach excavator and hit it, and then they dug around it.
It could be. Yep. Because I mean, you got to keep in mind too. He's only allowed to dig in 4 very restricted areas right now,
I'm glad you brought that up. So let's show that right now.
and that's why they get back into the swamp, because they're in very, very defined areas.
Yep.
We say, well, why aren't they digging here? Why aren't they digging there? Well, there's your answer.
Yep. Yeah. Remember back when they were when they found the Mi'kmaq pottery.
Mm.
And then in the off season, Marty was talking about the fact that they've been working with everybody, and the Mi'kmaq historical committee and everything. They were working with them, trying to get everything worked out. It looked like they were making good progress. I would have to say that they have, because the southeast corner was one of the areas that was off limits, because that's where they found the pottery that Laird, brought up, and he said, "Oh, this is a piece of pottery." So definitely it was off limits. And now they have permits to go back into these particular areas. And I'll zoom in on this a little bit so you can see it a little bit better. So we have the southeast corner of the swamp here. We have the south side of Nolan's Peninsula here. And if you remember, folks, this is where remember when the guys were out doing the magnetometer readings, and that they were in the little Zodiac rubber raft, and Tony Sampson had the wetsuit on. He was pushing them around so they could get their readings. This was 3/4 of the way through season 10. And during that, they had a very large hit on the and I was going to get a picture of this for you, but a very large hit on the south side of Nolan's Peninsula. And then when they went out and they started digging, they were digging on the north side of the peninsula. And I'm like, that's not where you had the anomaly.
Mm.
But they found the ramp on the north side that tied together with the stone platform, which is this one right here. So this year they're digging in the other side, and that's where you saw Maddie Blake was talking to. Remember when he was talking to Billy Gerhardt on the radio? Billy was digging this area right here, looking for that anomaly, I guess, on the south of Nolan's Peninsula. So let's see. Are you muted? I thought you said something there. Nope. Your microphone? Yeah, I can't hear you.
Right. Different button. Sorry.
There you go. There you go.
Too many buttons. Too many computers. Just think
and
about
then,
it, folks. All I've got's a laptop here, and Jeff's got all this other stuff surrounding
oh,
me.
I got
And I
some,
can't run a stupid microphone.
yeah.
Talk
So
about challenged.
yeah. So we have the southeast corner here. We have the south of Nolan's Peninsula here. Oops, I'm on the wrong screen here. And then we have the platform here. And then we have the section up here, which I can't wait to find out more information about, which is where they said the dam. They're hoping that they have a dam up there. This was a dam that was on Xena's map, but it was also something they looked for, and they went back and forth with the GPR. Was it GPR last year?
Yeah, or something like that. Yeah.
That
But
one's handheld
yeah.
scanner. They walk
Yeah.
back and forth with it. And they picked up some anomaly there, and they started to dig down. They found some wood with creosote or oiled wood.
Yeah.
And a fastener bar of
Then
some.
they had to stop because they thought they were getting too far into it.
Well, and they got too deep, and they had to. Now they are at that point where they have to have a permit. Well, now
Yeah.
they've got one.
Well, hurry up and get the damn permits. What I'm saying,
Yeah, get them quickly in the beginning of the season,
Yeah.
so you don't have to wait so long. There is also a blue mark out there in the water. Yeah, I see this blue mark here. There's a blue mark there. I don't
Blue
know what
mark on
these
all
are.
of them. Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know if they're supposed to be springs or what they're supposed to be, but I didn't see anything that you could tell as sort of a key or a scale on there that would tell you what that blue indicated.
yeah, me either.
But I got a sneaking suspicion it might be a water source, a spring or a water source.
Yeah, maybe. Either that or it's just simply writing that we can't see. I don't know. I'm
It
not
could be.
sure
Yep.
exactly what that
It
is.
could be.
Didn't you say that the dam and the basin were a common fishing system?
They did use dams. You would build a weir or a dam-like structure, let the water in, open it up, let the water in. The fish would come in past it, and then you close it off. That's been used for thousands of years.
Yep.
That type of system.
And that could very well be what that was. We don't know yet until they dig into it and find out what it is. But going back to Xena's map, and I'll bring this up again, but going back to Xena's map right here, we have there it is right there, the dam. They got the dam, and of course they got I was telling Linda earlier, I was complaining about Prometheus having the wrong thing lit up. They got the red letters for the dam, but they got it showing the basin, which is the eye of the swamp. The dam is actually right here, in this area.
And that dam too, right? I mean, that could be multifunctional, right? They could be using that as a dry dock in there. They could be using it as a fish trap. They could be trying to cordon off the island into two different sections or create a dead space in there. Just because it's a dam doesn't mean it's only used for one thing.
Correct. Yeah, and we've already covered the fact that. Okay, good. Thank you, Linda. We've already covered the fact that that they know that they're. Well, what do they call it? Multi-generational treasure conspiracy.
Yep.
I wrote that down so I can remember exactly how they said it.
Just means a whole bunch of people over a whole bunch of time.
Right. Exactly. And if you go back to the 1100s, and you start thinking Templars, and then you start working your way forward, and the Templars becoming others, I mean, look at the things that they have found. So
Yeah, the Templars were bankers of the world, right? So they'd have reason to have all these different currencies.
Bingo. Yeah, that's right. So yeah, that's interesting. So yeah. I don't know, man. This I don't even know where to go next. There's so much.
No, I know. It's just so much
Oh,
information last night. It was
Craig, thank you so much, Craig. I
mind
appreciate that
blowing.
very much,
Yep.
sir. It was very nice of you. Appreciate it. Thank you.
It was mind blowing.
It really was. Let's regroup here. Okay, so we kind of went through the Lot 5 stuff a little bit,
Mhm.
and talked about that fastener that they found and the pottery that they found there. Let's go ahead and talk about what else they found on Lot 5. And this was, remember last year, okay? Last year they got all excited. Gary was very excited, and so was actually Sandy Campbell, the numismatist, when they found the half Roman coin. Sandy got a chance to look at it, and he was ecstatic. They found something, and he recognized it pretty quickly that it was a Roman coin because of the worn face on it, or the person that was on it, the raised. And then they go out. Rick and Gary go out, and off of 2 hits, pretty quickly, they find 2 more coins.
Mhm.
They call out Rick. I'm sorry. They call out Marty and Craig. Marty and Craig come over, and they start digging with them. And Marty gets just a piece of junk, I guess. Craig finds a piece of metal.
Yeah.
And so they give the shovel back to Rick, and lo and behold, he finds another coin. And as the show went on that day, I guess they found a total of 4 coins.
4 coins, yep.
Right. They go along with the half coin that they found last year.
Didn't they find the briar piece on Lot 5 too?
Yes. The little waffle shaped
scallop shape, whatever they called it.
yeah, piece of lead
Mhm.
that ended up dating. The lead was basically from the same lead vein in southeast France as the lead cross.
Right.
And you go back to, and I want to just mention one thing about the lead cross that was found in Smith's Cove. How many times had Smith's Cove been dug up? So, we were saying, I was saying that why would it just be laying there on the surface? But Smith's Cove
No.
had been messed with so many times over the years.
A couple of storms, and it's going to turn that. And that's why when they're out there, just to jump ahead even more, when they get Tony out there and he's finding this round ring, possible coin, whatever the heck it is, I'm thinking, you can, do the waving thing, and why can't you just drop a great big rock on top of it? If you can't touch it and you can't pick it up, doesn't mean you can't drop a big weight on top of it, right? Because they're in less than 20 feet of water.
Yeah.
I know I'm jumping ahead here, but they're in less than 20. They're in less than 20 feet of water.
Yeah.
The next hurricane season, if they haven't got a permit to get that out of there, it's gone.
Yeah.
The next storm that blows through there. Good luck finding
it. You're right. He's not allowed to touch it.
No.
But
it didn't say he couldn't put anything on top of it.
Exactly. And I tell you what, while we're here, let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and show that real quick. So, there he is. There's the boat, and you see where they're at. This is the backside of the hill, from lot 15, I think ish. Nolan's property is right over here, and the Smith's Cove is right over here. And so that's where they're gonna do the diving, or get started on the diving. And there's our good friend, Mr. Tony Sampson. And he's going to get suited up. What I thought was really cool is Ken brought out, he's an underwater imaging expert, and he brought out the ROV. So cool. And that's where they were, right there. They were off the shore.
Also see they had Jade Beach was captain of the boat there last night. When they're driving, that's one of Tony's guys from the.
Yeah, I had his right there.
Yep, that's Jade. He was the guy. We had him and Tony on our tour when Henry and I were there.
Yep, that's awesome. So I was really happy to see them bring this piece of technology out this time. And I thought, where's it been? I mean,
keep that handy. We might need it in the money pit.
Yeah. All right. You know what? So as soon as we finish the segment, Linda, Linda's gonna do her draw. We have a giveaway, folks, and I've been talking about this as we got leading into this. We're going to do the giveaway here in just a moment. Don't let me forget, Tom. Let me just finish this little piece here.
Don't get us
But
talking again. We'll never get out of here. Yeah.
I know, right? Yeah. So they got the ROV out here working, and they got the guys here on the boat, and Jade, of course, and there's Tony doing his thing down below. And we have no idea how much time he really spends down there, going back and forth and doing all those things. But he was actually doing the metal detecting in a grid pattern. They mentioned that on the show, that he's going to work a grid pattern. So that he was probably down there a long time. And one of the things he came across, he said something about this piece of wood here. There was a couple pieces of wood. Now, do I get all super excited about a piece of wood? Not really, because wood can float in from just about anywhere, and they well know that.
On the coastline of Atlantic Canada, folks, it could be from anywhere.
Right. But I thought the one really cool artifact that they found was this right here. This is for those of you who are, younger folks, this is a pull tab from a pop can. It used to come off.
Or a beer can.
Or a beer can or something like But yeah, this piece of wood that he found is right here on the top. He found this piece of wood. Unfortunately, only Tony knows exactly what he saw there, because we couldn't get a good look at it. He was waving his hand over the silt, trying to get the silt off so he could have
They were 1x6 or something like that, I think. I can't remember.
Yeah. Yep.
12 by 6 inches.
Yeah, 12 by 6 inches.
Yeah.
So that was really cool. And so why is this thing not letting me move along here? Oh, it's because there we go. Whoops. And then he also found that circle piece that was down there. And he, when I first saw this thing, and I got to find my picture for that. Oh, here it is.
Just to answer someone's question, why he mentioned the wood and why it was significant is because they were looking for structures out there.
Yes.
Right. And if you were going to build a dock or a wharf, in all probability, you would have built something with log or wood cribbing, which would be weighted down by the rocks, become waterlogged, and not float.
Yep.
Or it could be from the dam.
Yeah. And he found some pottery down there. And so it's got the blue, you see the blue design on the pottery right there. That was pretty cool. A couple pieces of it. And again, we don't know where it came from, but also another thing he saw was the clay sailor's pipe stem.
Oh, the pipe stem. Yeah. Like they're like cheaper than a dime a dozen, right? They're the ocean floors, according to Tony, just littered with them. Mm-hmm. And you can't even touch those.
Yeah. Yeah. You can't even touch it. And that's this right here, I believe, right here on the bottom.
Yep.
They
take the pipe, when they were done with it, snap it for good luck and throw it over the side.
Yeah, exactly. And Tony talks about that quite on his tour. He gives a whole explanation. He's got a couple of them. Yeah. So what was that question that just came during season 5 or 6? They did some excavating in Smith's Cove and found the French drain. They think that that the cross may have come up from the spoils from that. They didn't find it until later. Yep. Could very well be.
Could have come from anywhere. Yep.
Yeah, it's hard to say.
So, it'd be impossible to say exactly where it came from. We just know where it wound up.
Yep. All right, so we're almost there. We're almost there to the giveaway. I haven't forgotten. I promise. A couple of last things that he did get a hit. I thought I had a picture of the hit, but he found when I first saw it, I thought it was a washer. It kind of looked like a washer. Here it is here. So it looked like a washer of some sorts, but he thought it might be a coin. And again, this is one of those situations.
It was quite large, wasn't
it? It does. I thought it did. I thought it was kind of big and thick. You see how thick it is. I thought it was a washer or something, but because he can't touch it.
I thought it was part of a pulley because the inside circle seemed to be extra thick metal or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was trying to zoom in on this thing and see if it maybe had some sort of design.
See how it's really thick around the middle?
Yeah, very.
Right. That reminds me of something like off a pulley or a weight or something that's going to be suspended. You don't want the metal to wear out if it's soft.
Right.
But again, I didn't see it. I wasn't there.
Yeah, it does. You see on the edge right there, it does have a worn look on this edge of the circle on the inside, and right here on the edges, like it was spinning on something. But again, yeah, it could be a Chinese coin
Could be,
again,
depending how
uh,
big. Yep.
or a net weight. There you
Net weight.
go.
Yep.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, it very well could be. And it's one of those times where unfortunately we don't get that perspective that Tony has.
We also
Um,
don't know what else he said.
yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Editorial license may have struck again.
Here's one of the things that I wanted to point out was the size of this boulder right here. Remember when he was looking around this boulder and he found that? And they talked about this boulder and how big it was.
Mm-hmm.
And is he kind of sort of in the area where the other anchor was supposed to be?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it shows the anchor being on the island, but remember the water level was lower then.
Mm-hmm.
If you go back to the 1300s, the water level would have been lower by several feet. So again, here's a big boulder laying out there. Now he didn't make this seem that was unusual, but yeah, it does look way too big for a coin. That's what I thought too, Barbara. I don't know. We don't have a good perspective of how big it was. You're exactly right. Yeah, it could be less than an inch or 6 inches. We really just don't know.
How's this so subtle?
All right, we're going there right now. Drawing time. All right. What we have, folks, and yeah, thank you, Tom. What we have is a drawing, and I think Linda's going to come up and join us and do the spin on this. Now, this particular, there she is. Now, what this drawing is we started this last year. Some people were donating some stuff to us for the show, and we decided to go ahead and give them away. So we started doing these drawings. Now, to be eligible for the drawing, you need to be a member. There are some requirements. You need to be a member of our Facebook group page, which is the Curse of Oak Island and Beyond Skinwalker Ranch. You can find us on YouTube. There's also a link for it in the description below. You must be a member. Linda will put out a picture of the giveaway preceding that show that we're doing that week. When you see that post come up, you do a comment on the post and you just simply say yes. Why? Yes, you type that in as a comment to that post. That makes you eligible for the drawing. And the other two more little things. One, you must be present at the podcast to win it, or we draw again. We give you a few minutes to say you're here. And the last thing is you're only allowed to win once during the season. We had some people won several times last year, and we wanted to make sure that everybody gets more of a chance. So you're only allowed to win once per the regular season. When we get to the season finale and we have another gift to go, everybody's name goes back in the hat, whether you won something or not. So, all right. Did I get everything? Was that all the rules and regulations on this thing?
Pretty much.
All right, good. All right, so Linda's going to spin for us, and let me show you what it is. That would be good, wouldn't it? This is one of the tumblers that is made by Jess Grollo, who does the tumblers for me. The like this one right here, the J-Free 906 that you can get if you want to help support the show. You can get one of these from Jess at her blue6laser.com website. This is the one we're doing tonight. It says Eyes and Boots, and it has Rick Lagina, his name written on there, and then Eyes and Boots on the little cutout of Oak Island. So, and she does all this, and so we have a couple of these, so we're gonna give one away tonight. And Linda, if you're ready,
this tumbler was donated by one of our other admins, Jan Anderson, and it's her design. Jan made it.
Ah, very good.
And Jess fixed it up for us. And there will be others during the course of the season. And next week will not be another tumbler. It will be either an older periodical. I have half a dozen magazines that came out back in the 40s and 50s, 60s, that kind of thing. They came recommended by Jeff Irving, who was on with us a week or so ago. It's either that or it'll be a book. So there will be a picture of it tomorrow on our page.
Awesome.
All right, let's
that'll
see
be
if we
for
can
next
do this. It's been a while. See if I can remember
week.
what
Yeah.
I'm supposed to do. All right, here we go.
We had a lot of names on there. Holy cow.
There's a ton of names.
Almost done. Almost done.
Karen.
Karen Cartwright. Karen
Sorry,
Cartwright,
I
are
didn't
you
get that hold
here
up
with
there
us
very
tonight?
well.
You gotta put
Karen, are
something in
you
the
with
chat.
us? I haven't seen your name on here, so I'm not gonna.
All right, we'll give her a couple of minutes to
Mhm.
come on and say hello. And so let's see here. Okay,
So
excellent.
while you're waiting, would you rather have a book or a periodical for the giveaway next week?
Ooh. A book or a periodical? Let us know in the chat what you think. What would you like to see? I don't see Karen's name popping up.
I
Oh,
have not seen her. You guys, I've tried to make this just as clear as I can when you sign up. So I don't know what else to do.
yeah. Yeah. You have to be present to win. We'll give her another minute or so. And
Mhm.
if we don't see her, we'll spin again. A lot of people are popping in saying book, 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 book. Everybody so far, 6 different people said book. Oh, one person said periodical.
One periodical.
Yeah. Let's see.
Well,
One,
they're all going to go this year. There's
7,
probably 4 or 5
I
books. There's
say the book's
half a
going to go
dozen.
first. Yep.
Yep.
Yep,
Looks like the book is
a
going
book
first.
next week.
All right.
Okay, we're going to spin again. Sorry, Karen.
Yeah. Looks like Karen is not here. Either that or she fell asleep because the show is so riveting. All right. Who we got this time? Let's see. Kissy Davis.
Kissy Davis.
Is Kissy Davis here? I haven't seen that name pop up in the chat yet either today. Boy, we might be spinning all night, Linda.
I know. It's,
Or we
first
just
time
add
of
it
the
up.
year.
Give it one more try, and we'll add it on to next week. You'd be a double winner next week.
Yeah, when I put a little heart or whatever emoji by your name, this week on 95% of them, I also said must be present to win.
Yeah. Yeah. You got to be here
Mhm.
because we need to get your details,
Yeah,
where to send it to. So
that's just part of the deal.
that's part of the deal. I don't know. I don't
Yep.
see Kissy jumping in here. So letting us know that she's here.
Curtis. I'm here. Well, my name. If only it were that simple.
I know. If only it were that simple. Yeah, I know I'm going to show this picture real quick. We're giving just just another minute or so. Now are we going to spin one more time, a third time?
We are. We're going to spin until we give it away, and I'm going to do it right now.
All right.
Sorry.
All right, here we go. Jacqueline is here, I think.
Jackie, are you here?
Stand up quick.
Yeah, stand up quick. Let us know you're here. I thought I saw their name earlier.
Wave your arms.
Something. Let us know you're alive.
Jackie's usually here.
Yeah, I know. I thought I saw her name earlier. Well, maybe not. I could be wrong. Let us know if you're here. So what happens if we don't get one?
Throw it back in the bucket for next week.
Oh, she did. She said she was leaving.
Oh.
Oh, Jackie.
Missed it by that much.
Oh, if only we'd have done it sooner, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my
Great.
God.
Okay.
What do you
Again,
think? One more time?
we need to give it away.
I know. All right. We could be at this all night.
I know. I'm sorry.
Let her go.
spin for the win. Freeze the charm. Terry Graham. Is Terry here?
Is anybody here?
Is anyone?
No, we're going to take these names off. If you don't come to the podcast, we're not going to do this every week.
No.
Oh, man. We got 157 people here, and none of them are the people that we've chosen.
Oh,
4
there
times.
she is. Hey, Terry.
Oh, here.
Here, there you go. We have a winner.
All right. Yeah, there we go.
Terry, if you will private message me your address, I will get this in the mail to you.
There you
Congratulations.
go. Congratulations. All right.
Artist.
Linda said, I'm here. Yeah,
You're a
I
winner.
bet you are.
Mhm.
All right. Congratulations, Terry.
Yes.
All
But
right.
hang in there.
Yep. All right.
next
And so don't
week.
forget, that's how you need to be here to win and to get that, join our Facebook group page. And when you see that post come out, just be sure to say yes, and you are automatically entered to win.
Yep.
All right. So Tony had a good time. You know, one of the things I wanted to also point out about Tony, did you see him? And again, I go back to the whole thing saying that we don't know how long Tony was actually in the water or how many
Correct.
times he may have gone down. We just see the little bit that's edited for the show. But one of the things that I thought was so cool about this is when Tony came out of the water, did you see how excited he was?
hmm
Okay, we saw a piece of wood, we saw a piece of pottery, and we saw what looks like a washer or a coin of some sort. And yet he was very excited. He said that was the best dive. And so where do we go with that? I mean, was there something else that we have not seen yet?
Well, not only that, but it suggests to me that whatever that coin, circle, washer, ring, whatever, that he was sufficiently impressed by that. You'd think he probably, and just thinking back in my mind now, if it had been a net weight, wouldn't he recognize it as a net weight?
You would think he would, yes.
Right? Or some common article like a pulley, like I said,
Mm.
right? Something like that. So I don't know.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know. And there's the side by side with the
Mhm.
cash coin, the Japanese cash coin. But
Mhm.
I don't see this one as having a square hole in it. But again, like Linda said, we don't know the perspective.
No.
Yeah, get those permits. I agree with you 100%. Get those permits.
Mhm.
He was almost as excited as Jeff, and Tony gave him that shirt.
Not possible.
I don't think that was. Yeah, I don't think anybody could have been as excited as I was when Tony took his shirt off and handed it to me right there in the mug and anchor. That was yeah. It did look like a weight. That's very true. It did look like a weight. But and Barbara said it right there. Enough evidence to get a permit. I think they have enough evidence now to get a permit. And if that was toward the beginning of the season, which it was supposed to be, then they should have the permits before the end of the season. And then they could go. It does look a little off center, doesn't it? I don't know.
Hard to say.
Yeah, hard to say.
If anybody's going to get a permit, they'll get it, because if they have Tony Sampson doing the diving, he's a recognized diver. He's a recognized. He does dives all over Nova Scotia,
Exactly.
Atlantic Canada. He dives in Halifax Harbor to recover old war artifacts, and yeah, he's very well recognized. He's not just a guy that drives a tour boat around Oak Island.
Exactly.
He's an experienced and accomplished diver.
Yeah, when he's down there,
and a great storyteller.
And a great storyteller, absolutely. And he knows when he's diving and he's looking down there at stuff, he knows what he's looking at. So
That's all business.
He's not going to be swayed by a piece of
No.
a weight of something. But again, he couldn't pick it up. All he could do is look at it through his mask.
You like to take a little, maybe a nail or a tag or something, and drive it down through that opening, just to hold it in place. Didn't touch it.
Something like you said, put a rock on it so it doesn't so they can find it
Mm.
again next time. They should have had Steve Guptill come out there with his survey stick and get an actual mark of it, where it was.
Mm. I got a funny feeling you get some pretty swift tides blowing through there, unless that big rock protects it. Good luck finding it.
Yeah, they may never find it again.
And that's the shameful part about it. If you get someone like Tony in the water, they should be allowed to recover and document things.
Exactly.
In my opinion.
Yeah,
You know.
I agree with you. I really do.
Guys like me, no, because I don't know what I'm doing and what I'm looking at. But
Yep.
fellas like
me
him,
either.
yeah.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
Mm.
That's definitely with him and his expertise. It should
Yep.
should be there.
Mhm.
Okay. Let's
So that
see.
polishes off the dive. What are we missing, folks? We've been jumping all around here. So if we're missing something you want to talk about,
Well, one thing I did want to kind of talk about a little bit was getting in with Sandy Campbell and the numismatist, looking at the coins.
Mhm.
Because he was taking a good look at these coins, and we've talked about them a little bit already, but I wanted to kind of revisit this again just for a few minutes. These are the 4 that were found, and oh, I don't know. Yeah, he was. Yes, he was. These were the 4 that were found, all in one day. Now, 2 of them, I guess, came back as being Roman. One was Indian, from India, and one is this one here that had the pattern. This one here in the top left corner that had a pattern like well, they thought maybe chain links or something like that, like a chain link fence, but it had like a crossing pattern or a gate pattern, is what Sandy Campbell said.
a greater gate, but yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, a grate or a gate. Yep. And
Yeah.
this is it right here. You can see him looking at it right there. I think I have a better picture of it. Here it is right
Mhm.
here. So let me zoom in on that a little bit and get a better look.
That was kind of a cool history information trivia information session for everybody right there. Is that they're designed after the gates you'd see in a castle.
Right. And they said that was to mean strength or,
Strength, yep.
yeah.
Strength, safety, security, whatever, yep.
Mm-hmm. And here's an example of one, not necessarily this one, but
No.
here's an example of that gate. You can see it looks like the big gate at a drawbridge going across to a castle. You see the spikes down at the bottom of it. And here was another one here, same type of thing, a gate, and you see the spikes going across the bottom. So it was something like this. Now, one of the things that I really got, the big takeaway that I got on these coins was when Sandy was talking about the coin being, the one of them being BC.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Over 2,000 years old. That just blew me
Blows your
away.
mind. Blows your
It
mind
do-
because you
yeah.
got a coin from the 1500s, right? Which is almost 300 years before the discovery of the money pit,
Mhm.
right? The Roman coin from 100 to 300 AD, a possible Indian coin. What did Laird say when they said possible Indian? He said, "Great, just what we need, another twist or something like that." Yeah, just when we thought we were going to narrow this thing down,
Yeah, just when we thought
we're
we
going to
were getting close.
throw another country into this.
Yep.
And then this one with what they thought was the male portrait and the 2 conjoined people on the back, which is BC.
Yeah. Yep.
So was it multiple visitors or did one person have a pile of treasure? I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, the other thing too, I noticed it too, and it's kind of an aside.
Mm-hmm.
I noticed last night, and maybe it was just a fluke, but whenever they were putting something in the baggies, like the coins, whatever on the lot,
Mm-hmm.
remember how before we used to be able to zoom in on those?
Yeah, and get a name, a date, and all that.
They're always turned away this year.
Ah, they got us.
So was it a fluke or what? I don't know. However, Sandy, when he picked it up to take one of the coins out of it, he did accidentally point it towards the camera.
Did you catch it?
I didn't catch the date, but what I got was 23-200. And usually when you're coding something, 2023
Yep.
would be your file number, right?
Right.
-200 would be artifact number 200.
Number 200.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I don't know if that's the coding system they use or not.
makes sense.
That's what came into my mind.
Yeah.
The year of the file would be the first 2 digits, 23, and then whatever file number you'd start off at 001 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that would be for the island, right? There'd be
Yep.
up to 200 artifacts.
Yeah, that's England traded as India was their colony. Wasn't the East India Trading Company? Wasn't that
Mhm.
was yeah.
Yep.
Interesting. Good point, Michelle. Thank you.
Yeah, it was
Uh,
a British British colony at one time. Yeah.
yeah. Well, you Keith, you can believe it because there were coins that were being made and distributed back then. So, but for that thing, he dated that thing. Sandy dated that coin to be well, one of them, a Roman coin from 100 to 300 AD.
Mhm.
100 to 300 AD. Then the last one he looked at, when asked where he thought it might be from, Sandy said it could be from India
Mhm.
and date to the 6th, 7th, or 8th century.
Mhm.
Sandy then looks at the last coin and tells them that it's a Roman coin and it's probably more than 2,000 years old.
Mhm.
Now, we talked about who would have all these coins? Would it be one particular guy that, when I saw that when I saw that half of that Roman coin, I was thinking maybe that was one that somebody was keeping as a keepsake and they kept it in their pocket. Hence the reason why it was so worn down. Um,
Yeah, and Michelle makes a good point too. She said maybe they fell from a soldier's pocket if they were camping on the island or camping in that area.
yep.
Now, didn't they find? I forget the lot now. They found a place where they thought there was a British encampment at one time, and they found coins from a similar era.
Lot
I forget,
29,
maybe I'm
28,
not sure. I can't remember the exact lot, which is totally reasonable, right?
right?
However, they also found other things that would be associated: buttons,
Right.
lead shot,
Right.
cannonballs, whatever.
Yep.
So far as we know right now, they haven't found any other things that could be there. They just haven't told us, and they're just focusing on the coins.
Yep.
Um,
I think it
but
was
those,
lot
but
28
those
or something.
soldiers would have all been in the 1800s,
Mhm.
unless they were there for some other reason way, way back when, and they were a traveling group of Templars. I don't know, but
Yeah.
but why would a soldier in the 16th or 17th, 16 or 1700s have a BC dated coin,
Right.
you know, in your
Exactly.
possession?
Now you take it. Yeah, here's where my mind goes on this. And again, I'm speculating, but here's where my mind goes. Who was the first? Who set up basically the first banking system in the world?
Sure,
And
Temple.
who would have had been dealing with getting coins from pretty much everyone
Yep.
back then in the Europe back in that time frame?
Hmm.
Okay,
And
what?
who would have, just to inject onto that, right
Thank
onto
you,
that, who
Ryan.
would have needed coins from multiple currencies,
Right.
right?
Thank you
Because
very much,
basically
Ryan Kelly. I
you
appreciate
you you took a note, right, to the next bank along the way
that. Mhm.
and said, we owe Tom Burns X currency,
Right.
right? So you got to have you got to have that currency on hand to pay them,
Right. To give them
right?
back.
So if the
Exactly.
currency is British or Indian or Chinese, that's the currency you're going to need to have on
Right.
hand.
So where am I going with all that? You got it, Keith and David and Benito and Jan. Templars, baby. That's where I'm going.
Mhm.
That would be who would have all those coins. And if they dropped a couple, I think Christina was saying something about carrying them, a bucket along of coins and stuff, and you a couple drop out on your way,
Mhm.
you know, and especially if they're copper. Are you
Mhm.
going to care about those? The gold coins? Yes. They haven't
Mhm.
found any of those yet, have they?
Mhm. Yeah, and the Romans were all over Europe, right? They controlled all of Europe at some point.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. The Templars invented the traveler's check. Yeah, they sure did, didn't they? So that right there, I mean, that just the whole coin thing just really, really excites me a lot. And it goes to me, it's screaming Templars, baby.
Yeah.
I don't know. They saw the face on the one, and I don't know how they really saw that. It really, I saw them when they did the outline right
Mhm.
here. I saw the face, but without that outline, I didn't see a face on it. But then again, I'm not looking at it with a little magnifying glass or whatever. So,
And they know what they're looking for.
and they know what they're looking for. Sandy does for sure. So
Mhm.
there was one other thing that I wanted to show on that real quick, and that was um, this right here. And I thought, I know this has been brought up before. I mentioned it a while back, but who in the heck took a portrait of Alex Lagina? I know this is Phipps, but I think somebody ought to check Alex's bloodline, because doesn't that look like Alex Lagina? Okay, I know, I digress.
Fits the theory.
But you remember, and you go back to Phipps. Now, Phipps was brought up in this particular episode because of that metal.
Yep.
That metal
hinge, whatever you want to call it.
hinge or
Yep.
pin
Spike.
with the
Yep.
ring on it,
Yep.
And
Yep.
Emma said that particular piece, where they had a guy named White. And I had his name in here. Thank you, Jan. Jan did.
Well,
she
see,
does-
Phipps was brought up in Maine, right? So
Correct.
He would have been familiar. I mean, Maine. You can stand in Nova Scotia, look across the Bay of Fundy, and see Maine.
Yep.
Right. It's not that far away.
Mm-hmm.
So he would have been familiar with that coastline as well.
Yes. Now, this piece right here, when they tested this metal, they said that the material makeup of this metal, and this is something that Emma said, this guy White had brought some things to Laird and Emma to test. And they did the metallurgy on it, and it came out, and they said that this thing here, this piece here, now I don't know how they can figure all that out, but he said that, it was Frank White, I think, or Weiss or White, artifacts from the William Phipps birthplace in Maine, and it matches it. This pin matches it metallurgically.
Mm-hmm.
Matches it metallurgically.
It matches.
So,
didn't you say 100%?
Yes. The one of them, she said, one of the artifacts that they had matched it 100%.
Yeah. So that's no fluke.
That's not a fluke, folks. And you remember the story. If you don't know the story of Phipps and Belcher, Phipps went down. He found the Concepcion. They brought back 20 tons of gold or silver back to Spain. Okay. And got, accolades for it. Went back this time. When he goes back the second time, he's got Belcher with him. And Belcher, then they only bring back a very small 1/20th of the amount that they had the first time. They bring back the second time.
Yep.
And Belcher is found in Mahone Bay with one of Phipps's ships. That ship ended up burning and sinking. Now, where have we heard the story of the burning and sinking ship?
Mm-hmm.
So what the heck was Phipps, or what was Belcher doing in Mahone Bay with one of those ships? And if he was, is this artifact right here on the screen one of the artifacts from that ship?
Yep. And the second trip around, I mean, they brought back, I don't know what the exact weight of the pounds was. When Phipps was there the first time, when Belcher went back, they brought back 1/20th of what they brought back on the first
Correct.
cruise.
Yeah.
Well, that's what they brought back.
That's what they took back to Spain. The rest of it, where did it go?
What got dropped off in the...
Right. And it was primarily silver that was on the Concepcion.
Oh, silver. Yeah.
Primarily silver.
Yep.
And what has Ian Spooner said was the bulk of what they found in the water samples in the Money Pit area.
Yep.
Silver, a Gerhardt truckload of silver.
And people have said to me, they said, why don't you see, when they're doing the trace elements on the wood, why don't you see silver? Right? We've seen gold. We haven't seen silver yet.
Correct.
Right? They found it in the water. Right. And that's because, in my opinion, gold is much softer than silver, and it would rub off. And if you're bringing smelted pure gold, it would be 24 karat gold, which is very, very soft.
That's a great point.
Most of your gold jewelry would be in the 14 karat range, which means it's mixed with other items to make it as hard as silver.
Yeah.
So soft item will wear off on wood.
Yeah, exactly. Jan, I don't know. I don't know that there's any record of Phipps ever owning Lot 5, but I
don't think, but
maybe he was there. I mean, that was before, if Phipps would have been there, that was before there were lots.
Scott Clark would be the guy. Scott, you out there? Tell us.
Yeah, Scott.
Yeah. Beat me up, Scotty. Anyway, if there's so many lines between all of these people from Maine and England that you can draw to between the American loyalists to Oak Island post Civil War, that it's amazing.
Yeah, it is. Wow. I don't know. That was a fantastic season premiere. I was really, really impressed. Impressed with it. I thought they did a
When are we going to
fantastic
find out
job.
what's at the bottom of the garden shaft? What that hit was?
I don't know.
Remember when they closed the season off, and they still
Yeah.
haven't told us what Gary's non-ferrous hit was.
Right. And that had to be one of the first things they went to look for when they
Mhm.
got back. And they took the lock off of the yellow cover that's on top of the garden shaft. They had to go down there and pump the water out probably, and then go see what's down there. I would have.
They wouldn't have got me out of that garden shaft with that thing going.
Well, somebody had
Close the door,
asked me,
guys. I'll be out in a minute. Yeah.
yeah, somebody in YouTube had asked me that question. Said, why did they, you go underground, it remains a constant temperature of 4 degrees or roughly. And why couldn't they just keep on working all winter? It's because of the permits.
The permit ran out, and the logistical effort that you need to do above ground.
Yep.
To support the below ground efforts, right?
Yep.
For example, if you're going to pump water all day long, as soon as you turn that pump off at night, that pump's freezing.
Yep. Yeah, I would have to stay running all the time.
You'd have to keep them running
How cold
all
does
the
it
time.
get? Say January. How cold does it get at night there? January, February.
That part of Nova Scotia stays a little bit warmer than we would here in New Brunswick, but in New Brunswick, it's not uncommon -15.
Yeah.
Like you're not going to leave. Like if you have a summer cottage or a camp that's not insulated or heated anywhere in the Maritimes, you drain all the water every winter.
Yeah.
They're going to freeze. If you don't, it's going to freeze and your pipes are going to break. That's all there is to it.
That's why when I was.
Could they get days in the Fahrenheit range down around 0 Fahrenheit for the people that watch from the States? Yeah, easily.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Cat put up 20 below.
-20 was a real, that's cold. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why I was just up in Michigan this last weekend here. I was up in Michigan and I shut down the cabin up there and I drained all the water. We had to blow the lines and get all the water out of the lines because we shut it all the way down, no heat, nothing on.
Yep.
And the pipes will freeze and break. So you have to do that every year and then pour RV antifreeze in the toilet, in the drain, the P traps and everything.
I just did my camp last weekend. It's been -5, -6 here several times over the last week.
Yeah, there you go. All right. So I tell you what, next week, folks, I think this is going to be another great one. They showed the preview for next week, and I'm going to show you a couple of these pictures because I'm really excited. Where's Jack Campbell? Jack, take a look. I mean, here we go. They're digging in the swamp. Now, when I first looked at this picture, I was confused for a moment because I thought this was on the north side over by Nolan's Peninsula, and then or Nolan's property, where the supposed dam is, but I was wrong. I looked at it again. I go, no, there's the stone road right there. And they're digging at the base of the stone road and into the road that they need to use to get around to the money pit, right? But look, you see what they're doing right there. I'm going to zoom in on this for a second. There is another picture, but you see where they're at. They're digging right there at the base of the stone road in the southeast corner of the swamp. And here's another picture, and I'm excited about this. I'm really excited. And here's another picture. Whoops, wrong way. This way. Right there.
Mm-hmm.
Wood down there. There's some sort of a structure.
Look, the log. See at the very bottom of your picture, it looks like log cribbing.
Yep.
Which, if you were going to build a log or a dock or a wharf, to keep it, vertical so your ships could pull in next to it, or dories, whatever you're going to use, you'd use rock cribbing, fill it full of rocks.
Yep, exactly.
And you could build a rock road on top of it if you wanted to.
Yeah. So that's going to be exciting to see what they come up with. Remember, that was when they talked about this being some sort of a wharf, and something that Ian said when they were in the war room. Ian had made the comment that this was some sort of an important harbor, in his opinion, that he's finding clues to lead them to believe that this was a very important harbor back in the day. For who and for what purpose? Why would this little island be such an important harbor? I just don't know. All right, a couple more pictures that I wanted to show real quick for next week. Something that and I recorded this. This was something that Mr. Steve Guptill had said, and I was wondering, and I had to go back and I'm going to play the sound for you guys so you can hear it. But this was something that he had said that really keyed to me, and I was like, "What is he talking about?" Oops, if I can get it to stop for a second. Okay. He said something about they were in the tent talking to Maddie Blake, and he said something about a cave.
Hmm.
And I was like, what cave is he talking about?
Absolutely. They see that and they connect that to the whole money pit.
Okay, I'm just going to play again.
There's some excitement behind the data this year.
Okay, I'm going to play that again. Listen to what he says about a cave.
But there's multiple targets. You remember the cave from last year? Yeah, absolutely. They see that and they connect that to the whole money pit. Really? So there's some excitement behind the data this year.
Remember the cave from last year? He's talking about Ideon and the this is the muon tomography technology, and he's talking about a cave, and I thought, what cave are they talking about? I don't remember them finding a cave. So I think it's remember when we were Tom,
Yeah.
you and I were talking about the things, the anomalies down under the money pit. And I'm going to show these pictures because I think this might be what they're referring to. They have these right here, and he says there's right here. You see where it says Money Pit Void. Let's see if I've got a better right here. Money Pit Void. This is, and it looks like some sort of a tunnel. Aladdin's Cave. Yes, Renee. Exactly. Yes, they did make that comment as well. Aladdin's Cave, and that's what they're calling this right here. This pink area. So they're excited about it, but I heard that. I'm thinking, cave, what cave are they referring to? So that's
How deep was that on the map?
that was about 100 and I think he said it was about 110 feet. I thought that's what he said. I could be wrong.
Just back up one on your slides there.
Let's see. Yeah, about 115 feet, 110.
Yep.
Well, maybe a little deeper if that's to scale.
We don't know with the 3D picture. We don't know how it's angled, right?
Exactly. So we could be looking at it right at an angle and not showing us.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he said about 110 feet, but I could be wrong. Aladdin's Cave is what Marty named it. Yeah, thank you. Yes, and he also, yes, you're right, Robert. He did mention that as well. He said that the tunnel that they were chasing last year, and I'm assuming they're talking about the one that runs from underneath the northeast corner of the garden shaft. That they were chasing that, and they found that it's bigger. It extends further than they thought, and it was bigger than they thought. You could stand up and walk in it.
Yep.
And Jenny, I agree. I wonder if 10X joins into it. Yes. I've wondered that from all the time that when Abbott was there and he put that sonar down there or that scanner down there and he saw those look like a tunnel going out of each end of the 10X. Yeah, I thought the same thing. I wondered about
how deep is 10X? 235?
Yes. That's pretty deep. Yeah. Yeah. This was another show, a real quick clip that they shown that I saw, and this is where I think they were digging that. I think this was, I don't know if this was last year or the year before, but you see them digging a trench right here. I don't know. That's over on that other last road coming up to the money pit on the South Shore. So
be interesting to see if they ever say what they were looking for.
Yeah. So maybe that's going to come out this year. I don't know. I can't wait till next week. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah. Well, I see Craig said, but 10X is much deeper than the anomaly you're looking at, and that's 100% correct. But you have to also keep in mind, too, that those shafts were often on angles.
Yep.
Or tunnels. Sorry,
tunnel.
shaft straight down, but a tunnel could easily be on a 45-degree angle.
Right. Yeah, if they're down 110 feet, then you add about 20 feet because of the height of the where 10X is. It's up about 20, 25 feet higher. So you add a little bit, and then you put in an angle. It could be true.
Offset chambers, etc. Yep.
Exactly.
I mean, even the flood tunnels were said to be on angles, right? Because they had to start at the surface and go down to the bottom of a shaft, right?
Right. Yep.
So digging on an angle wouldn't be. Not everything is horizontal and perpendicular.
Yep. Exactly.
And if they're following any kind of a natural cave, they're going to go wherever it goes.
Yep. Exactly.
Right.
Yep. All right. It was a fantastic episode. I can't wait till next week. I tell you, I'm really excited.
It's
'Cause,
a hard act to follow this week.
well, we know if they do produce 24, 25 episodes, that there may be a few of those that are not
Might be
quite as
the odd
exciting
filler.
later
Yeah,
on.
it could be the odd filler, but that's okay.
Yeah, that's all right. But
We
I'm
can talk
looking
about
forward-
something else.
Exactly right. All right. Don't forget, folks, we're going to be here again next week, and we're going to talk it up again Wednesday night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. As always, Tom Burns, thank you very much, sir.
No
And
problem.
folks, thank you all for
I'm
joining us.
gonna go finish my chips now.
Oh, I got to get them ketchup chips. Oh, I dipped my French fries in ketchup, but I don't know about my chips. Yeah. I did try them. They were pretty good. They actually weren't bad. So, anyway, all right, folks, we'll catch you next time right here on the J Free 906 podcast. Good night, everyone.
Good night.